You have already come across many idioms in the earlier lessons. So, you know what an idiom is and how it should be used in a sentence. Anyway, let me repeat it once before I can give you a list of idioms. Every language has its own idioms which are used by the native speakers of that language. An idiom is a set of words whose meaning is different from the meaning of the individual words that make up the idiom. That is, by merely looking at an idiom, you cannot infer its meaning. You need to know the idiom to find out its meaning. There are two things you should remember when you use an idiom. The tense of the verb in an idiom can be changed according to the sentence. For example, kick the bucket can be kicked the bucket, kicking the bucket, has kicked the bucket, or had kicked the bucket, depending on the sentence. The pronoun in an idiom can be changed too, to suit the sentence. For example, one's cup of tea can be his cup of tea, her cup of tea, their cup of tea, my cup of tea, Mina's cup of tea, the boy's cup of tea, etc. Using an idiom when you speak or write makes you come across as a refined speaker of the language. Here is a list that will equip you with the most commonly used idioms in the English language. I have given the meaning of these idioms in Tamil. I have also used these idioms in sentences so that they will remain in your mind forever. A big shot, Periya Manidhar. When the big shot entered the room, everyone stood up. He is a big shot, a VIP. A bull in a china shop. Isagu pisagaga velegalai seibavar. Like a bull in a china shop, the baby began to pull out things from the cupboard. I am a bull in a china shop with computers. I don't know all the functions in it. A blue ribbon. விளையாட்டு போட்டியில் எல்லாவற்றையும் விட உயர்ந்த பரிசு. The Olympic medals are blue ribbons as far as the athletes are concerned. Winning the Wimbledon games is a blue ribbon for tennis players. A live wire. மிக சுறுசுறுப்பாக இருப்பவர். Mr. X is a live wire. He is a welcome figure at parties. She is a live wire. There is always fun and frolic when she is around. A ladies' man. பெண்களுடன் அதிக நேரத்தை செலவிட விரும்பும். பெண்களால் அதிக விரும்பப்படும் நபர். The ladies' man entertained the women at the party with his jokes and anecdotes. Being a ladies' man, he doesn't have too many male friends. A fish out of water. ஒரு இடத்தில் ஒட்டாமல் இருப்பவர். The girl who joined the class after the first term felt like a fish out of water. The new bride felt like a fish out of water at her in-laws' place. A snake in the grass. நாம் அறியாத பகைவன். Nobody suspected that he would turn out to be a snake in the grass. Brutus turned out to be a snake in the grass. A dog in the manga. சுற்றி இருப்பவர் சந்தோஷத்தில் கலந்து கொள்ளாதவர். The children thought that their father was a dog in the manga. He was not only a dog in the manga, but also speaked about the others to the class teacher. A tight-fisted person. Kanjan. Shylock was a tight-fisted man. Father was tight-fisted as he didn't want to borrow money from anyone to run the family. A green age. Saripana Kalam. The period of King Ashoka was a green age. During the Green Age, there was an agricultural revolution in the country. A dead-end job. முன்னேற்றத்திற்கு வாய்ப்பில்லாத வேலை. Since it was a dead-end job, he decided to resign and seek another job. He had reached the topmost post in the organization. From here, it was a dead-end job for him. A bolt from the blue. எதிர்பாராத அதிர்ச்சி. The death of the child was a bolt from the blue for the parents. When the mill closed suddenly, it was a bolt from the blue for the workers. a bird's eye view, முழுமையான கோணத்தில் பார்த்தல். He could get a bird's eye view of the project when he studied it deeply. To understand things better, one should take a bird's eye view. A wolf in sheep's clothing, நல்லவன் போல் நடிக்கும் வஞ்சகன். The villain in the movie was a wolf in sheep's clothing. The man who called himself my friend was actually a wolf in sheep's clothing. A close shave. ஆபத்திலிருந்து மயிரிழையில் தப்பித்தல். It was a close shave as the lorry narrowly missed hitting the bike. It was a close shave for the passengers of the train as the driver brought the train to a halt after seeing the boulder on the track. A shooting pain. சுள்ளென்ற வலி. The shooting pain in his arm made him cry out loudly. A shooting pain through the chest may be the first sign of a heart attack. A square peg in a round hole. ஒரு இடத்தில் பொருந்தாதவன். The rich daughter-in-law could never fit into the middle-class family. She was a square peg in a round hole. The graduate who was forced to work as a peon in that office was a square peg in a round hole. A stag party. ஆண்களுக்கு மட்டுமான party. Liquor flowed like water at the stag party. A day before the wedding, the bridegroom had a stag party with his friends. A tall order. செய்ய கடினமான விஷயம். It's a tall order to expect such a small child to be quiet. It's a tall order to expect India and Pakistan to patch up matters overnight. A wet blanket. சுற்றி இருப்பவர் சந்தோஷத்தில் கலந்து கொள்ளாதவர். My friend is a wet blanket. He never comes out with the rest of us. In anger, he called his dad a wet blanket. A stuffed shirt. ஒருவருடனும் பழகாமல் தற்பெருமையுடன் தனித்திருப்பவர். The rich and beautiful girl was a stuffed shirt. Being a stuffed shirt, he had few friends in class. A cock and bull story. Kadai, burda. Nobody believed his cock and bull story that his purse had fallen into the drain. The student gave a cock and bull story to the teacher for not completing his homework. Above board. நேர்மையான, சந்தேகத்திற்கு இடமற்ற. The dealings for the sale of the house are all above board. The appointment of the policeman was above board. Add fuel to fire. எரிகிற நெருப்பில் எண்ணெயை ஊற்றுதல். The woman added fuel to fire by insulting her husband in front of his friends. Adding fuel to fire, not only did he arrive late, but he also did not start his work on time. All and sundry. எவர் வேண்டுமானாலும். He told the secret to all and sundry. It no longer remained a secret. All and sundry threw stones at the criminal. This was a form of punishment in olden days in that society. All in all, mottathil. All in all, it was a good movie. All in all, you have done your test very well. An early grave. சிறுவயதில் மரணமடைதல். Bharadiyar attained an early grave. Major Unnikrishnan attained an early grave fighting the terrorists. Apple pie order. ஒழுங்காக, அழகாக. Everything was in apple pie order as guests were coming home. Since the minister was visiting the area, the roads were in apple pie order. Apple of discord. சர்ச்சைக்குரிய விஷயம். கருத்து வேறுபாட்டின் காரணம். Kashmir is the apple of discord between India and Pakistan. The property was the apple of discord between the two brothers. Apple of someone's eye. ஒருவரால் மிகவும் விரும்பப்படுபவர். She is the apple of her father's eye. Smita was the apple of all the teachers' eyes. At one's beck and call. கூப்பிட்ட குரலுக்கு. She has many servants at her beck and call. The actress has 2 maids at her beck and call. Had daggers drawn. பகைமை உணர்ச்சியுடன். The people of the warring countries were at daggers drawn. The opposition parties are always at daggers drawn with the ruling party. At loggerheads, பகைமை உணர்ச்சியுடன். Nirmal and Kiran, who had been at loggerheads during the first term, became thick friends after the picnic. She is always at loggerheads with her maid. At one's wit's end, செய்வதறியாமல் வழி தெரியாமல் இருத்தல். Having lost all his money in the horse race, he was at his wit's end. When the peace talks with the union leaders failed, the management was at its wit's end. At sixes and sevens, ஒழுங்கின்றி தாறுமாறாக இருத்தல். My daughter's room is always at sixes and sevens. A busy market is always at sixes and sevens. At the 11th hour, கடைசி நிமிடத்தில், at the 11th hour, I decided to join the others on the picnic. At the 11th hour, he started packing for the trip. At the tip of the tongue, நாக்கு நுனியில், தெரிந்தும் சொல்ல இயலாது தவித்தல். When the teacher asked the question, the answer was at the tip of her tongue, but she couldn't remember the exact figure. It was at the tip of my tongue I almost blurted out the secret. At the tip of the fingers. நன்றாக தெரிந்து வைத்திருத்தல். The sales manager had all the sales figures at the tip of his fingers. The housewife had the house accounts at the tip of her fingers. At arm's length, ஒதுங்கி இருத்தல், இடைவெளி வைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். They keep him at arm's length because he is a habitual liar. The goats kept the wicked wolf at arm's length. Ask for a lady's hand. ஒரு பெண்ணிடம் தன்னை திருமணம் செய்து கொள்ளுமாறு பணிதல். On Valentine's Day, he asked for her hand. He feels that the atmosphere has to be romantic when he asks for her hand. Backstairs influence. நேர்வழியில் அல்லாமல் ஒருவரிடம் தனக்கு இருக்கும் செல்வாக்கை பயன்படுத்தி காரியத்தை சாதித்துக் கொள்ளுதல். Through backstairs influence, he got a seat in the medical college. He used backstairs influence to get his loan sanctioned. Bad blood. பகைமை, கருத்து வேறுபாடு. The bad blood between the two countries can be sorted out only by mutual trust. There was a lot of bad blood in the family after the father passed away. Be in someone's good books. ஒருவரின் நல்லெண்ணத்தை பெற்றிருத்தல். Wishing to remain in his boss's good books, he became a yes man. The new daughter-in-law tried her best to remain in the good books of her in-laws. Be in a fix. குழப்பத்தில் இருத்தல். He was in a fix when he got offers for jobs from two reputed companies. After completing school, I was in a fix about the career that I should choose. Be a good Samaritan. நல்லவராக இருந்து பிறருக்கு நல்லது செய்தல். Gandhiji was a good Samaritan. He tried his best to be a good Samaritan and help people. Be on tenterhooks. மன இறுக்கத்தில் இருத்தல். She was on tenterhooks till her results were published. The husband waiting outside the labor room was on tenterhooks till the nurse came out and gave him the good news of his wife having delivered a healthy baby. Be a fly in the ointment. சுற்றி இருப்பவர் சந்தோஷத்தில் கலந்து கொள்ளாமல் அவர்களுக்கு இடைஞ்சலாக இருத்தல். You are always a fly in the ointment. You never approve of any plans that we make. My sister is a fly in the ointment. She sneaks upon whatever I do and tells my mother about it. Be on pins and needles. மன இறுக்கத்தில் இருத்தல். The couple was on pins and needles when the surgery of their son was going on. I was on pins and needles until I reached the railway station and found that the train had not yet started. Be under a cloud. தவறு செய்ததாக சந்தேகிக்கப்படுபவர். The minister was under a cloud until the inquiry commission found that he was not guilty. He was under a cloud for having accepted bribes. Be in someone's black books. ஒருவரால் விரும்பப்படாதவர். The honest police officer was in the black books of the local MLA. The maid is in the black books of my mother-in-law. She doesn't like her too much. Be in two minds. தீர்மானமின்மை. The student was in two minds whether to choose engineering or medicine. We were in two minds about the movie that we wanted to catch on Sunday. Be cut to the quick. ஆழமாக மனம் புண்படுத்தப்படுதல். He was cut to the quick when his junior got promoted ahead of him. He was cut to the quick on being called a thief by his friends. Be on cloud 9. சந்தோஷ கடலில் மூழ்குதல். Sam was on cloud 9 as he was getting married the following day. The scientists who had successfully fired the space shuttle were on cloud 9. Be under someone's thumb. ஒருவருக்கு அடிபணிந்திருத்தல். He likes to have his wife under his thumb. Mr. Bhatt has all his juniors under his thumb. Be in high spirits. மிக மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருத்தல். People are in high spirits during festivals. He was in high spirits as his work was recognized by his office and he got a promotion. Beat someone hollow. முழுதாக தோற்கடித்தல். India beat Australia hollow in the test series. Due to lack of practice, she was beaten hollow by her opponent. Blacklegs, Karungali. The workers shunned the blacklegs. Ultimately, the blacklegs were favored neither by the management nor by their co-workers. Blackguard, Neeson. The bridegroom that they had fixed for their daughter turned out to be a blackguard. Being called a blackguard was the worst insult that could have been heaped on him. Blacklist, வேண்டாதவர்களின் பட்டியல். The drunken pilot was blacklisted. The bank has blacklisted several firms who have not repaid their loans. Black mark, Kalangam. The charges of corruption are a black mark on his name. The charges of match fixing were a black mark on the cricketer's career. Black market, Kallachandai. Petrol is scarce now. People are buying it in the black market. Tickets to the movie were being sold in black market on the first day. Black money, Karuppu Panam. The income tax department conducted a raid on Mr. X and seized lot of black money from his house. He paid black money for part of the land value. Blackout, Irrittadippu. The burnout of the transformer caused a blackout throughout the city. The news about the assassination of the president was blacked out temporarily so that the security measures could be in place. Blackmail, Mirati Panam Parittal. The man who kidnapped the child blackmailed the rich father and said he would kill the child if his demands were not met. The thug blackmailed her, saying that if she did not pay him a hefty sum, he would release her letters to the press. Black sheep, Kayavan. He turned out to be a black sheep after posing as a decent man for so long. He is the black sheep of the family. Behind someone's back, Puram Pesadal. There are a lot of things being said about the film star behind his back. I would rather point out his faults to his face than talk about them behind his back. Bear the brunt of. மற்றவரின் கோபம், அடி இவற்றிற்கு பாத்திரமாதல். Mother bore the brunt of father's anger in order to protect her children. Latur bore the brunt of the earthquake. Beat about the bush. சுற்றி வளைத்து பேசுதல். Better to be frank and outspoken rather than beating about the bush. Without beating about the bush, he told me what he wanted me to do. Bed of roses. துன்பமற்ற சுகமான நிலை. Life is not a bed of roses. Happiness and sadness go hand in hand. His life was a bed of roses until he got married. Bell the cat. ஒரு பிரச்சனையை எதிர்த்து நிற்பது. One of us has to tell the house owner that we broke his window pane, but who is to bell the cat? It requires courage to bell the cat. Beside the mark. குறி தவறுதல். Your answer is beside the mark. He was beside the mark when he accused his servant of lying to him. Between the devil and the deep sea. இரு சம இன்னல்களுக்கு இடையே சிக்குதல். I had to study either geography or science. It was like choosing between the devil and the deep sea. The actor had to either do his stunts himself or be called a covered by the press. It was like choosing between the devil and the deep sea. Bring the house down. வீட்டை இரண்டாக்குதல். கூச்சல் போடுதல். The children brought the house down with all the noise that they made. The principal brought the house down when he learned that one of the boys who went on the picnic was missing. Bring to book. தண்டனைக்கு உட்படுத்துதல். He decided to bring to book the teacher who was responsible for the boy's disappearance. The superintendent of police brought to book erring police officers. Bring to light. உண்மையை வெளிக்கொணர்தல். The newspaper brought to light the indecent behavior of the social worker. His role in the murder was brought to light when the case came before the court. Break the news. ஒரு செய்தியை தெரிவித்தல். When I broke the news of my transfer to another place, my parents broke down and started crying. It was heartrending to break the news of the boy's accident to the unfortunate parents. Break the ice. மௌனத்தை கலைத்தல். சகஜமான நிலைக்கு கொண்டு வருதல். The new teacher broke the ice in the classroom by cracking jokes and being friendly. The intervention of the journalist broke the ice in the negotiations between the two countries. Break loose. தப்பிச் செல்லுதல். The goat broke loose from the rest of the herd and strayed away into the forest. The thug broke loose from police custody. Bite and dust. தோல்வியடைதல். The cricket team bit the dust despite several days of rigorous practice. Our school bit the dust in the inter-school cultural event. Blow one's own trumpet. தற்பெருமை பேசுதல். Whenever he blows his own trumpet, we all burst out laughing. Whenever he helps me, he blows his own trumpet. Blow one's top. மிகுந்த சினம் கொள்ளுதல். Father blew his top when he came to know about his son's addiction to dope. The manager blew his top on seeing his tenor's work. Bone of contention. தீர்வு காண வேண்டிய பிரச்சனை. The bonus issue was the bone of contention between the management and the workers. The selection of textbooks was the bone of contention among the university board members. Breathe freely. கவலையிலிருந்து விடுபடுதல். Now that the exams are over, the students can breathe freely. His daughter's marriage is fixed. He can breathe freely now. Build castles in the air. ஆகாய கோட்டை கட்டுதல். When he got a job, Muthu began building castles in the air. When she won a prize in the lucky draw, she began building castles in the air. Bury the hatchet. சண்டை முடிந்து சமாதானம் செய்து கொள்ளுதல். They shook hands and buried the hatchet. Let's bury the hatchet and move on. By word of mouth. வாய் மூலமாக. He gave instructions to the team by word of mouth instead of sending out mails. Word of mouth publicity is more effective than publicity through advertisements. By hook or crook. எப்படியேனும். By hook or crook, they wanted to win the match. By hook or crook, he wanted to get that order. Call a spade a spade. உள்ளத்தை உள்ளபடி கூறுதல். Few people have the guts to call a spade a spade. The teacher called a spade and told the parents that their son is cheating on them. Call one names. திட்டுதல். In anger, he called her names. The children called each other names and their mother scolded them. Catch someone red-handed. Kayyum kalavamaga pidithal. The boy was caught red-handed smoking a cigarette. The police wanted to catch the corrupt officer red-handed while he was accepting a bribe. Catch someone's eye. Gavanattai yirthal. He was blurting out the secret. I wanted to catch his eye and tell him to stop talking. I caught his eye and knew he was lying. Catch at a straw. ஆபத்தான நிலைமையில் எவ்வித உதவியையும் நாடுதல். A drowning man is ready to catch at any straw. He was willing to catch at a straw in order to come out of the financial mess that he was in. Come of age. முழுதாக முற்றி முன்னேற்றமடைந்து. Some sections of Indian cinema have come of age. He has come of age now. He takes decisions by himself without consulting his parents. Come under the hammer. ஏலத்திற்கு வருதல். The house came under the hammer after he declared insolvency. Gandhiji's letters came under the hammer in recent times. Come to light. வெளிவருதல். தெரிய வருதல். The cooked up accounts came to light during the audit. His role in the scam came to light after the press exposed him. Come to blows. சண்டையிடுதல். The prisoners came to blows following the verbal argument. The actor came to blows with the journalist who questioned him. Come to the point. விஷயத்திற்கு வருதல். Instead of coming to the point, he is beating about the bush. My boss came to the point straight away and pointed out my careless work. Come out in flying colors. பெருவெற்றி அடைதல். I hope to come out in flying colors in the final examination. The touring team came out in flying colors, having won 4 out of the 5 matches. Cup of tea. அவரவருக்கு பிடித்த விஷயம். Reading is not my cup of tea. I would rather play some game outdoors. Waking up early is not my cup of tea. Child's play. எளிதில் செய்யக்கூடிய விஷயம். Mimicry is child's play to the actor. He does it so well. Taking part in the country cricket match was child's play to the world-class cricketer. Clean the Aegean stables. ஊழல் போன்ற தீய நடைமுறைகளை சரி செய்தல். Press should set about cleaning the Aegean stables. It's not so easy to clean the Aegean stables as some systems have been around for a long time. Don't care a straw. சற்று கூட கவலையின்றி. I don't care a straw about what others think of me. I will do what is correct. He doesn't care a straw about his aged parents. Don't know someone from Adam. யார் என்று தெரியவே தெரியாது. She refused to recognize him, saying that she didn't know him from Adam. The old man couldn't recognize his own son. He didn't know him from Adam. Down in the mouth. துயரமாக. When one is down in the mouth, he needs his friends and family behind him. When she is down in the mouth, she usually shuns people and shuts herself in her room. Do yeoman service. பெரும் சேவை செய்தல். Jamshedji Tata has done yeoman service to the country. The yeoman service of the army officer was recognized by the government, which awarded him a Paramveer Chakra. Dutch courage. மது அருந்தும் போது உண்டாகும் துணிச்சல். In a dash of Dutch courage, he challenged his friend to a fist fight. Dutch courage disappears once the person becomes sober. Dutch treat. திரைப்படம் காண அல்லது ஹோட்டலில் உணவு அருந்தச் செல்லும் போது அவரவர் செலவை அவரவரே பார்த்து கொள்ளுதல். On the last day of the exam, the students went on the restaurant for a Dutch treat. Since it was a Dutch treat, I didn't have to take too much money with me. Draw the line. வரம்பு அமைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். We must draw the line when we speak to elders. He doesn't know where to draw the line. He sometimes crosses limits when he speaks to his boss. Easygoing, எதையும் லேசாக எடுத்துக்கொள்ளுதல். Her easygoing nature makes her happy and contented with life. Being an easygoing man, he always keeps smiling. Eat one's words. தான் செய்தது சொன்னது தவறு என்று ஒத்துக்கொள்ளுதல். The minister was forced to eat his words after the public protest. Only after the manager ate his words, the workers reported for work. Egon, ஊக்குவித்தல், உந்துதல் கொடுத்தல். The crowd egged Sachin on to score a century. He was egged on by his wife to work harder. End in smoke. ஒன்றும் இல்லாமல் போதல். The rumor ended in smoke. There was no truth in it. The news of the director's resignation ended in smoke. Face the music. விளைவுகளை சந்தித்தல். I am willing to face the music if I do something wrong. He took ownership for his friend's mistake and was willing to face the music on behalf of his friend. Face to face. நேருக்கு நேர். They sat face to face and sorted out the issues that were bothering them. Our face-to-face meeting with the superstar was a very exciting one. Fall flat. புரியாமல் போதல். The speech of the philosopher fell flat on most of us. What the learned scientist was trying to explain fell flat on the audience, as most of them did not know the basics of nuclear science. Fall short of. எதிர்பார்த்ததை விட குறைவாக போய்விடுதல். The poor boy fell short of his college fee by 1,000 rupees. The party fell short of the required majority. Fall prey to. இரையாதல். Many people fall prey to the temptations of quick money. She fell prey to his charms. Few and far between. எண்ணிக்கை கொஞ்சமாக. Holidays this month are few and far between. Honest and selfless politicians are few and far between. Fingers are all thumbs. படபடப்புடன் இருத்தல். Her fingers were all thumbs as her boss was peering over her shoulders, seeing what she was typing. The apprentice's fingers were all thumbs as his boss watched him handle the machine. Find one's feet. பழக்கமாகி போய்விடுதல். She soon found her feet in the new office. It took 1 full month for the new bride to find her feet in her new home. Fling down the gauntlet. சவால் விடுதல். The young prince flung down the gauntlet and called his opponent for a duel with him. The promoter of the fairness cream flung down the gauntlet and challenged everyone to prove that that cream would not improve a person's complexion within 30 days. Float in the clouds. கனவுலகில் மிதத்தல். He was floating in the clouds when he got placed with a multinational company as soon as he finished his graduation. Aishwarya Rai was floating in the clouds when she won the Miss World title. For better or for worse. நல்லதோ கெட்டதோ. For better or for worse, I have submitted my resignation from my present job. For better or for worse, we left our village and migrated to the city. Foregone conclusion. முன்பே தெரிந்த விஷயம்தான். It's a foregone conclusion that he will do his masters in the USA. It's a foregone conclusion that Serena Williams will win this tournament. Foot the bill. செலவை ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளுதல். When we broke the expensive crockery at the hotel, we were asked to foot the bill. He had to foot the restaurant bill as it was his treat. Flying visit. ஒரு இடத்திற்கு சற்று நேரம் அல்லது சில நாட்களே வந்து போதல். The minister came on a flying visit to the flood-affected areas. The US Secretary of State came on a flying visit to India. Fly off the handle. பொறுமையிழத்தல். சினமுறுதல். The customer flew off the handle when he was made to wait for 1 full hour at the bank. The doctor flew off the handle when his nurse carelessly administered the wrong drug to the patient. From the bottom of one's heart, Manadara, I thanked my friend from the bottom of my heart. The principal welcomed the chief guest from the bottom of his heart. From top to toe, தலையிலிருந்து பாதம் வரை, he saw me from top to toe as he was trying to assess me. From top to toe, she was decked in expensive jewelry. From time immemorial, kalam kalamaka. From time immemorial, some customs have prevailed in our country. From time immemorial, respect to elders has been a way of life with Indians. Fish in troubled waters. மற்றவர் குழப்பத்தில் ஆதாயம் தேடுதல். China tried to fish in troubled waters when India and Pakistan had a conflict. Instead of fishing in troubled waters, you should try and solve the dispute between them. Fight tooth and nail. இறுதி வரை போராடுதல். The army fought tooth and nail to protect the country from the invaders. Our team fought tooth and nail, yet luck was not on our side. Get wind of. நடப்பது என்ன என்று தெரிந்து போதல். Mother got wind of our surprise party for her. The customs got wind of the narcotics that were being smuggled by the passenger. Go scot-free. தண்டனையின்றி தப்பித்து போதல். The teacher decided to let the erring boy go scot-free since he apologized. No criminal can go scot-free in the court of this judge. Greenhorn, அனுபவம் இல்லாதவர். She is a greenhorn in films. Though he is a greenhorn, he observes and learns quickly. Green with envy, பொறாமை கொள்ளுதல். The girl went green with envy when she saw her friend's new pencil box. All her classmates went green with envy when she won 5 prizes in a row. Give a hand, உதவுதல். The children gave a hand to mother in preparing a meal for the guests. Everyone gave a hand and helped to lift the boulder from the railway track. Given black and white, எழுதி கொடுத்தல். She gave it in black and white that she is not interested in the property and that it can be given to her siblings. When you give something in black and white, it is a written promise. Give up the ghost, உயிர் நீத்தல். She gave up the ghost at a very young age. The old woman did not give up the ghost until her son returned from America. Go to the dogs. சீர்குலைந்து போதல். The country has gone to the dogs because of corrupt officers. The economy has gone to the dogs due to mismanagement. Have something up one's sleeve. ரகசிய திட்டத்தை வைத்திருத்தல். She had a plan up her sleeve, but she wasn't telling anyone yet. The children had a surprise party for Dad's birthday up their sleeve. Have one's heart on one's sleeve. காதல் வயப்படுதல். It was very obvious that the young man had his heart on his sleeve. Romeo had his heart on his sleeve. Have one's heart in one's mouth. அச்சமுறுதல். My heart was in my mouth as I watched the film Anaconda. Her heart was in her mouth as she sighted the dark figure outside her window. Have too many irons in the fire. பல காரியங்களை ஒரே சமயத்தில் செய்ய முற்படுதல். She has too many irons in the fire. She cannot do justice to any of them. She has too many irons in the fire and it is telling on her health. Hand-to-mouth existence. கைக்கும் வாய்க்குமே போதாத நிலை. Leading a hand-to-mouth existence, he could not save much money. People belonging to the middle class lead a hand-to-mouth existence. Hang in the balance. நிச்சயிக்கப்படாமல் இருத்தல். The fate of the accused hung in balance as he waited for the judge to pronounce the verdict. My going on the picnic hung in balance as I waited for my dad's permission. Hard and fast. தீர்மானமாக ஒன்றும் இல்லாமல் இருத்தல். There is no hard and fast dress code for the party. There is no hard and fast rule that one should wear a suit to work. Have one's hands full. வேலை பளு அதிகமாக இருத்தல். My maid has her hands full as she works in 2 other houses. The speaker has his hands full as parliament is in session. Hairbreadth escape. மயிரிழையில் தப்பித்தல். The passengers had a hairbreadth escape as the driver applied the brake at the nick of time. The child had a hairbreadth escape because the parents saw the knife in her hand just in time. Hair standing on ends. மயிர் கூச்செறிதல். Her hair stood on ends as she watched the suspense thriller. My hair stood on ends as I heard the story of the miraculous escape of my friend from the train accident. Harp on the same string. சொன்னதையே திரும்ப திரும்ப கூறுதல். The boy got fed up listening to his mother harping on the same string of hard work with his lessons. Throughout the day, the news channels kept harping on the same string of the terrorist attack. Hit the ceiling. Sinamurudal. The supervisor hit the ceiling when he learned that the worker hadn't turned up for work once again. Dad hit the ceiling when he found out that I had lost the money. Hot news. Puttam pudiya thagaval. The actor's sudden marriage plans is hot news today. The television channel carried the hot news of the arrest of the industrialist. Hotline. நாட்டு அதிபர்களுக்கிடையே உள்ள தொலைபேசி தொடர்பு. A hotline was established between the leaders of the 2 countries to ensure the continuation of the peace talks. None but the Prime Minister has access to the hotline. Homebird. வீட்டில் தன் குடும்பத்தோடு இருப்பதையே விரும்புபவர். Her husband is a homebird. He is rarely seen at parties. Being a homebird, I hate to socialize. Hold one's tongue. வாய்மூடி இருத்தல். I had to exercise lot of self-control to hold my tongue. It was difficult for him to hold his tongue when his wife was provoking him so much. Hue and cry. Amali. There was a hue and cry from smokers about banning smoking in public places. The NGO organization made a hue and cry about the rape of the tribal woman. In the pink of health. நல்ல உடல் ஆரோக்கியத்தில் இருத்தல். My grandfather is 80, yet he is in the pink of health. I am always in the pink of health as I follow a strict regimen of diet and exercise. In the blues. துயரமாக இருத்தல். He was in the blues after the death of his wife. The class was in the blues after the teacher announced the cancellation of the picnic. In fits and starts. தொடர்ச்சியாக இல்லாமல் திடீர் திடீரென்று. Water comes in fits and starts in this pipe. He studies in fits and starts. There is no consistent effort. In the long run. நாள் போக போக. In the long run, such little effort is not going to bear fruit. In the long run, this arrangement will not work out. In the nick of time. தக்க தருணத்தில். கடைசி நிமிடத்தில். He completed his paper in the nick of time, just before the time-out bell rang. She caught the train in the nick of time, just as it was beginning to pull out of the platform. In a nutshell, சுருக்கமாகச் சொன்னால், to put it in a nutshell, global economy is in bad shape. In a nutshell, I don't think you are qualified for this job. In cold blood, ஈவிரக்கமின்றி. He murdered his wife in cold blood. He was convicted to a life sentence for murdering his neighbor in cold blood. In full swing. முழுமூச்சாக. Preparations for the wedding are in full swing. In full swing, the employees started work to meet the target for the year. In one's element. முழு தெம்புடன் இருத்தல். Vishwanathan Anand was in his element in today's game. He was in his element after recuperating from the illness. in the dark. ஒரு விஷயத்தை பற்றி அறியாமல் இருத்தல். They were in the dark about the attack from the enemy until the bombs fell. The customer was in the dark about the malpractices of the vendor. In vogue. அதிகமாக புழக்கத்தில் உள்ள விஷயம். Bell-bottom pants were in vogue in the 60s. Traditional attire is in vogue even today. In leaps and bounds. Vegamaga. His health picked up in leaps and bounds thanks to the care of the hospital staff. Inflation is going up in leaps and bounds. In a fit of anger. Athiratin vilayvaga. In a fit of terrible anger, he hit his son. In a fit of anger, he tore up the appointment order. In the jaws of death. Savin pidiyil. The starving children were in the jaws of death. He came back from the jaws of death thanks to the efforts of the doctors who operated on him. Keep in mind, ninevil vaithu kolladal. He promised to keep my requirements in mind while designing the furniture. I find it impossible to keep in mind the birthdays of all my friends. Keep an eye on. Gavanittu kolladal. She kept an eye on her children as they played in the park. There is a surveillance camera in the shop to keep an eye on thieves. Keep out of mischief. Kurumbu seyyadiruthal. He is so naughty, he finds it difficult to keep out of mischief. When the family visited the zoo, the mother minded the children so that they would keep out of mischief. Keep the wolf from the door. Pasikkodumai. Yezhmai agatrudal. Despite best efforts, the poor man found it impossible to keep the wolf from the door. In developing countries, it is a big challenge to keep the wolf from the door. Leave in the lurch. ஒருவருக்கு உதவி தேவையான சமயத்தில் அவரை கைவிடுதல். I understood who my real friends were when most of them left me in the lurch during the financial crisis that I faced. The people are left in the lurch when a government does not attend to their needs. Leave no stone unturned. அத்தனை வழிகளிலும் முயன்று பார்த்தல். The airline left no stone unturned to adhere to the safety measures. She left no stone unturned to achieve her goal of becoming an actress. Left high and dry. Udava aalindri kaividapadadal. The landowners were left high and dry when the government took away their land for the road expansion project. The cancellation of the bail order left the accused high and dry. Let the cat out of the bag. ரகசியத்தை வெளிப்படுத்தி விடுதல். The press let the cat out of the bag when it revealed the minister's past. I promised not to let the cat out of the bag so that the birthday party could be a surprise for my friend. Look a gift horse in its mouth. பரிசாக கிடைத்த பொருளின் விலையை கேட்டல். It is bad manners to look a gift horse in its mouth. Mrs. M always looks a gift horse in its mouth when her children bring gifts for her. Look for a needle in a haystack. கொல்லன் பட்டறையில் ஊசியை தேடுதல். By searching for an honest officer in this town, you are looking for a needle in a haystack. His essay is always perfect. If you want to pick faults in it, you are only looking for a needle in a haystack. Look forward to. ஆவலுடன் எதிர்பார்த்தல். I am looking forward to my uncle's visit. They are looking forward to renovating their house. Lose one's head. நிதானம் இழத்தல். He is always sober. He never loses his head. It is easy to lose one's head when one acquires a lot of wealth. Make a mountain out of a molehill. சிறிய விஷயத்தை பெரிதுபடுத்துதல். The two countries made a mountain out of a molehill and the problem escalated, leading to war. Most of the divorces happen because the couple makes a mountain out of a molehill. Make head or tail off. தலைகால் புரியாத விஷயம். I can't make head or tail of what the doctor has written. I can't make head or tail of this movie. Make up one's mind. முடிவெடுத்தல். The captain found it difficult to make up his mind whether to bat or field. She had to make up her mind whether to buy a new fridge or to go on a holiday. Make up for lost time. இழந்த நேரத்தை ஈடுகட்டுதல். It is difficult to make up for lost time at the nth hour. He made up for the lost time when he was down with fever and worked very hard after he recuperated. Make fun of. கேலி செய்தல். Everyone makes fun of Raju's American accent when he speaks English. When someone makes fun of you, you must take it in a sportive manner. Make a clean sweep. அமோக வெற்றி பெறுதல். The ruling party made a clean sweep at the elections. The visiting cricket team made a clean sweep of the series. Make ends meet. வருமானத்திற்குள் செலவை சமாளித்தல். In today's world, it is difficult even for affluent people to make ends meet. To make ends meet, he took up a part-time job in the evenings. Move heaven and earth. எப்பாடுபட்டேனும். The MLA decided to move heaven and earth to bring water to the rural areas in his constituency. She decided to move heaven and earth to get through the IAS examinations. Nip in the bud. முளையிலேயே கிள்ளி எறிதல். Any doubt that arises in your mind should be nipped in the bud itself. Bad habits of children must be nipped in the bud so that these habits don't turn out to be addictions. No love lost. பகைமை கொள்ளுதல். There is no love lost between the brothers. They are always at loggerheads. There was no love lost between the players and the goalkeeper, hence the team spirit was missing. Not to see the wood for the trees. சிறிய விஷயத்தை பிடித்துக்கொண்டு பெரியதை கோட்டை விடுதல். He could not see the wood for the trees. He insisted on being granted his leave, not thinking about his promotion. We cannot see the wood for the trees. We bother about present troubles, not thinking that these are the stepping stones to success. Not make head or tail. தலையும் புரியவில்லை, காலும் புரியவில்லை. I cannot make head or tail of the lecture. It's a philosophical topic. I cannot make head or tail of chess. It's too complicated for me. Not worth one's salt. உப்பு பெறாத விஷயம். Such a lengthy argument on this topic is not worth its salt. It's not worth your salt to fight with such a small child. Nook and corner. மூலை முடுக்கு. She searched every nook and corner for her missing umbrella. The bomb detection squad searched every nook and corner of the hotel for bombs. Odds and ends. தட்டுமுட்டு சாமான். There are several odds and ends in our house, things that have got accumulated over the years. Apart from grocery and vegetables, I would like to buy some odds and ends too. Out of order. பழுதாகி இருத்தல். My washing machine is out of order. There is a whirring noise that is emanating from it. The elevator is out of order. I am afraid you have to take the stairs. On hand. கைவசம் இருத்தல். It will be better if I can have some extra sugar on hand. My friend was at hand to help me finish the work assigned by the professor. On and off. அவ்வப்போது. On and off, the power gets disrupted in this area. On and off, the Prime Minister visits other countries to meet their heads. On the sly. திருட்டுத்தனமாக. The children took out some ice cream from the fridge and ate it on the sly, in their mother's absence. He gave her a rose on the sly. On the spur of the moment. திடீர் தூண்டுதலால். On the spur of the moment, I decided to go to my native place to visit my parents. On the spur of the moment, he hugged the beggar woman. On the vein. குறைந்து கொண்டே வரும். Smoking is on the wane in our country as more and more people are becoming aware of the hazards of smoking. Joint families are on the wane in India as many couples prefer to live alone. On the horns of a dilemma. குழப்பத்தின் பிடியில். I was on the horns of a dilemma whether to take a loan or not. She was on the horns of a dilemma whether to marry him or not. One square meal, ஒரு வேளை சோறு. Many people in India are unable to get one square meal every day. To get one square meal a day, people have to toil for hours. Once in a blue moon, ஆடிக்கு ஒரு தரம் அமாவாசைக்கு ஒரு தரம். The குறிஞ்சி flower blooms once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon, he donates something to orphanages. Out of the blue, திடீரென்று. Out of the blue, the young man proposed to the girl. Out of the blue, my aunt arrived from Singapore. Out of hand, ஒருவரை மீறி போன விஷயம். The situation in Iraq is getting out of hand. My son is getting out of hand. I think I will send him to a boarding school. Pat one's own back. தன்னையே தட்டிக் கொடுத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். He patted his own back after successfully negotiating with the client. I patted my own back for having signed the document for donating my eyes. Pain in the neck. தொந்தரவு. Unwelcome guests are a pain in the neck. He is a pain in the neck. He always keeps asking me for money. Part and parcel. பிரிக்க முடியாத, இன்றியமையாத. Troubles are a part and parcel of one's life. One has to take it in his stride. Kesavan is a part and parcel of this office, though he is only a peon. Pros and cons. நல்லதும் கெட்டதும். One must weigh the pros and cons well before taking a decision. Have you weighed the pros and cons of your decision to leave home and study abroad? Pay through the nose. மிக விலை உயர்ந்த. He paid through his nose to have plastic surgery done on his face. He paid through his nose to travel by air. Pay tribute to. போற்றுதல். The staff paid tribute to the retiring officer. People lined up outside the house of the departed leader to pay tribute to him. Play fast and loose. நம்பிக்கைக்கு பாத்திரமில்லாத. He plays fast and loose with my feelings. He plays fast and loose even with the members of his own party. Poke one's nose. மற்றவர் விஷயத்தில் மூக்கை நுழைத்தல். My boss pokes his nose into the work of every subordinate of his. You can understand the reason for his unpopularity. The housewife pokes her nose into the work of the servants of her household. Paint the town red. Cinema, hotel போன்று ஊர் சுற்றி மகிழ்தல். The young couple who had just got engaged painted the town red. When my friend came down from Australia, we painted the town red. Play second fiddle. இரண்டாவது இடத்தில் இருத்தல். The actress took a decision not to play second fiddle to the hero and to act only in heroine-oriented movies. Right from childhood, I always had to play second fiddle to my older brother. Pour oil on troubled waters. எரிகிற நெருப்பில் எண்ணெயை ஊற்றுதல். As if to pour oil on troubled waters, the company declined to give bonus too. Pouring oil on troubled waters, the government refused to pay compensation to the people who were killed in the calamity. Pull someone's leg. கேலி செய்தல். His friends started pulling his leg after he announced his marriage plans. She was so innocent that she didn't know they were pulling her leg. Pull strings. செல்வாக்கில் இருப்பவரின் உதவியை நாடுதல். By pulling strings, he hoped to get a license. It's no use getting a seat in the professional college by pulling strings. Pull a long face. முகத்தை தூக்கி வைத்துக் கொள்ளுதல். She pulled a long face when her husband refused to buy the gold necklace. The child pulled a long face when his mother refused to pamper him. Put one's foot down. உறுதியான முடிவெடுத்தல். He put his foot down and refused to try a smoke, much as his friends forced him to do so. The teacher put her foot down and declared that there was no extending the deadline for submitting the project. Put one's foot in one's mouth. உளறுதல். The opposition leader put his foot in his mouth when he claimed that his party men were above scandals and scams. I put my foot in my mouth when I told him that I would treat him to a dinner. I realized a little late that my wallet was empty. Rank and file. சாதாரண மக்கள். This movie will certainly appeal to the rank and file. It is the rank and the file who vote at elections. Many educated people keep away from the polling booths. Read between the lines. சொல்லப்படாததை புரிந்து கொள்ளுதல். I am no fool. I can read between the lines and make out that I am not welcome at his house. He could read between the lines and understood that there was a cold war at home between his mother and his wife. Ride a high horse. இருமாப்போடு இருத்தல். பிகு செய்தல். When I asked him to drop me home, he started riding the high horse. When we all requested her to sing, she rode a high horse. Rise like a phoenix. அடிமட்டத்திலிருந்து புத்துயிர் பெற்றெழுதல். The company rose like a phoenix from the brink of bankruptcy. The batsman who was said to be out of form rose like a phoenix in the next match. Run of the mill. சாதாரண தரம். This movie is just run out of the mill. There's nothing special about it. I am surprised how this run-of-the-mill novel won the Booker Prize. See eye to eye. ஒருவரோடு ஒத்திப்போதல். It is unfortunate that my boss and I never see eye to eye. A man and a woman who see eye to eye make a good couple. Set one's heart upon something. அடைந்தே தீர வேண்டும் என்று முடிவெடுத்தல். Bindra set his heart upon winning the Olympic medal. She set her heart upon buying the dress draped on the mannequin. Self-made. பிறர் உதவியின்றி முன்னுக்கு வந்தவர். Dhirubhai Ambani was a self-made man. He is a self-made actor, unlike the sons of established stars. See red. சினமுறுதல். The world saw red when the television footage showed scenes of torture of the prisoners. The coach saw red when the players did not follow his instructions on the field. Shed crocodile tears. நீலிக்கண்ணீர் வடித்தல். முதலைக்கண்ணீர் வடித்தல். The villain shed crocodile tears at the sufferings of the hero. He shed crocodile tears at the death of his uncle because everyone else was crying. Sit on the fence. தீர்மானமின்மை. ஸ்திரமான புத்தி இல்லாத நிலை. Never sit on the fence when it comes to choosing your career. I was sitting on the fence not knowing which car to buy. So wild oats. சிறுவயதில் நெறி தவறியவர். He has sown a lot of wild oats in his youth. He is paying the price for it now. Saint Arunagirinathar sowed wild oats in his younger days but turned to a spiritual life later. Sour grapes. எட்டாத பழம். The bicycle was sour grapes to the poor man. When he said he was no longer interested in a career in the movies, we knew it was a case of sour grapes. Smell a rat. ஏதோ தவறு நடக்கிறது என்று உணர்தல். ஏதோ விஷயம் இருக்கிறது என்று புரிந்து கொள்ளுதல். When she was unnaturally sweet to her father, he could smell a rat. When he started selling all his assets one by one, I smelt a rat, knew that something was wrong. Split hairs. ஒன்றுமில்லாத விஷயத்தை பெரிதுபடுத்துதல். The Hindus and Muslims in that area split hairs over a very trivial thing, but soon it blew up into a communal riot. They split hairs over a table at a restaurant. Each of them said he only had booked it. Sick and tired of. வெறுத்து போய். Many people are sick and tired of corrupt politicians. She was sick and tired of his bossy attitude. Stand one's ground. தான் சொன்னது அல்லது செய்தது சரி என்று திடமாக இருத்தல். Even after the teacher encouraged the young Gandhi to copy, he stood his ground. Despite his boss giving him killing looks, the young man stood his ground and said he could prove that what he was talking about was right. Start from scratch. ஆதியிலிருந்து மீண்டும் தொடங்குதல். After losing all his wealth in producing movies, he decided to start from scratch. Not one to give up, the spider decided to start from scratch and started climbing all over again. Stand on one's own feet. சொந்த காலில் நிற்பது. The young man decided to stand on his own feet and get a job without the help of his influential father. His parents encouraged him to stand on his own feet. Strain every nerve. மிகவும் கஷ்டப்பட்டு. The boxer strained every nerve to get the punches right. She strained every nerve to get the correct pitch. Speak one's mind. வெளிப்படையாக பேசுதல். The director spoke his mind and told his assistant that his work is no good. It requires some amount of courage to speak one's mind. Slip of the tongue. வாய் தவறி. In a slip of the tongue, he revealed the secret. In a slip of the tongue, he revealed his company's plan of action to an employee of the competitor. Take someone to task. செய்த தவறுக்காக ஒருவரை தண்டித்தல். The traffic policeman took him to task for jumping the signal. The food inspector took the hotelier to task for serving stale food. Take to one's heels. தப்பித்து ஓடுதல். As soon as the thief saw the gun-trotting policeman, he took to his heels. The rabbits took to their heels as soon as they spotted the lion. Take to heart. மனதில் போட்டுக்கொள்ளுதல். He has taken the harsh words of his boss to heart. Taking the insult to heart, he vowed never to enter her house again. Take something with a pinch of salt. ஒருவர் மிகைப்படுத்தி கூறுவதை புரிந்து கொள்ளுதல். I always take his words with a pinch of salt. I know his tendency to exaggerate. When he praises people, they take it with a pinch of salt because most often he does not mean what he says.